Welcome back to 7th Grade Mustache. On today's episode, we'll be speaking about tamper-proof. Imagine you get a knock at the door and a government agent is standing there telling you you need to build a side door into your house. They have the right to do so because of eminent domain. Sounds crazy, right? Now imagine news stories and gossip in the workplace about how people in other countries are getting brain-computer implants, and they can think 5 times faster than a natural human. Fast forward 5 years from that point, 33% of the American population has brain implants, and companies are offering salary bonuses if you have a brain implant. Now, your kids at school that had excellent grades before are being outpaced by children with computer brain implants. On April the 2nd, 2013, at a White House event, President Barack Obama announced the BRAIN Initiative, with the proposed initial expenditures for the fiscal year of 2014 at approximately $110 million from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. DARPA funds research for 60,000 of the BCI, brain-computer interface research, in the United States. BRAIN Initiative is marketed as a public health program. DARPA has mainly focused on 2 main areas, with the ultimate goal of developing novel BCI technologies. The first part is restoring neural or behavioral function in damaged brains. 2, improving human training and performance, cyborgs.
Look, we see that shit right now with your boy Elon. You know I can't stand that douchey motherfucker. But you see the shit with Elon right now and his Neuralink. And who's the first person he put the Neuralink on is a guy that is paralyzed or something, and he's trying to get brain function back.
And that's how they sell it to you.
Yeah. You were that's the headline. And now he can control the computer with the Neuralink, and he ain't gotta do shit. He's all crying and he's all happy. Like, look, if you're paralyzed, it's 3 things you want. First one, you want some pussy. Make the dick work. Number 3, you want to be able to walk, or at least be mobile. And last but not least, you want to feel like you're a person again. But the thing is, this is the thing that me and you always talk about the podcast. When we were kids, we were taught to achieve. I remember walking in the gym when we was kids and said, close your eyes, and this nigga playing the drums. And you open your eyes, see the nigga ain't got arms. And you like, holy cow. These motherfuckers nowadays are wallowing in their self-pity when that motherfucker right there wallowed in his reality. Like, hey, shit, I ain't got no arms. Fuck it. I'm going to use my feet. I'm going to use my legs. I'm going to do this. And we're not achieving anymore. Here's my thing. We keep saying we keep discussing how bad the education system is. If you wanted to fix it, what would you do? If this was you, if this was me, how come these kids aren't eating turkey tail mushrooms? How come these kids ain't eating lion's mane mushroom in the lunchroom every day? Because that makes you smarter. That makes you faster. They have proof of first of all, this Japanese dude discovered that shit back in motherfucking 1993 or 92, whatever. And all these different things, we found out how to make ourselves smarter, how to make ourselves ascend. But if that's the case, how come that shit ain't in schools? You got me eating fucking triangle pizza, square pizza, rectangle pizza, but you can't. Hey man, here's a goulash made from, or you can't use the lion's mane to substitute the meat in these grade schools and make these kids smarter because you don't want to make them smarter. You want to make another motherfucking. All you want is a customer. And if this Neuralink shit works, you mean to tell me I got to upgrade my iPhone every 2 months? What do you think they're going to do with Neuralink? They're going to update it every 6 weeks, or you're fucked. Like my Neuralink won't update. I'm not as smart as I was. It's about control and a customer, my nigga. That's all. But we could fix this shit if they really wanted to.
Several aspects of the brain-computer interface research can be broken down into separate areas. The first is operational neuroscience. DARPA coined the term operational neuroscience to describe a combination of neuroscience, cognitive psychology, physiology, and the application in the environment to investigate how to maximize human potential. They investigated real-time neural measurement and modulation of task engagement, mental workload, and vigilance through demonstrating a significant acceleration of learning with neurostimulation to both animal and human experiments. Restoring active memory is the next module, RAM. DARPA's RAM program aims to develop and test a wireless, fully implantable neural interface medical device for human clinical use. The device would facilitate the formation of new memories and retrieval of existing ones in individuals who have lost these capacities as a result of traumatic brain injury, TBI, or neurological disease. The third part is next generation non-surgical neural technology. The N3 program aims to develop a safe, portable neural interface system capable of reading from and writing to multiple points of the brain at once. Whereas the most advanced existing neurotechnology requires surgical implantation of electrodes, N3 is pursuing high-resolution technology that works without the requirement for surgery so that it can be used by able-bodied people. Watch this, though. There are countries that are creating legislation for rights to the brain or rights to consciousness. They're called neural rights. Chile is the first country to amend their constitution to include neural rights. It was a man named Rafael Yuste that pitched the BRAIN initiative to the Obama administration. His research program was funded by DARPA. There you go. There are new human rights that are created to protect against mind hacking and brain data theft. New human rights that would protect people from having their thoughts and other brain information stolen, abused, or hacked have been proposed by researchers. The move is a response to the rapid advances being made with technologies that read or alter brain activity, which many expect to bring enormous benefits to people's lives in the coming years. Much of the technology has been developed for hospitals to diagnose or treat medical conditions, but some of the tools, such as brainwave monitoring devices that allow people to play video games with their minds, or brain simulators that claim to boost mental performance, are finding their ways into the market. But these and other advances in neurotechnologies raise fresh threats to privacy and personal freedom. According to neuroethicists at the University of Basel, Marcello Ineka and Roberto Andorno, the human rights lawyer at the University of Zurich, and they published a paper in the Journal of Life Sciences, Society and Policy. They put forward 4 new human rights that are intended to preserve the brain as the last refuge for human privacy.
That's deep. So they're getting ahead of it. Before we even get there, they're proposing laws. I dig it.
The question they asked was whether the current human rights framework was well equipped to face this new trend in neurotechnology. Having reviewed the rights in place today, the group concluded that more must be done to protect people. The information in our brains should be entitled to special protections in this era of ever-evolving technology. When that goes, everything goes. The suggested new rights assert what researchers call cognitive liberty, mental privacy, mental integrity, and psychological continuity. Holy shit. The first of these concerns are a person's freedom to use or refuse to use brain stimulation and other techniques to alter their mental state. If adopted, people could defend against employers who decide their staff must be more effective if they zap their brains with weak electrical currents. In November last year, the U.S. military scientists reported that a procedure called transcranial direct current stimulation, TDCS, boosted the mental skills of personnel. These devices are available on the open market, but there are concerns over their safety. The right to mental privacy is intended to plug a gap in existing legal and technical safeguards that do nothing to prevent someone from having their mind read without consent. My mind, my body, my choice. While modern brain scanners cannot pluck thoughts from a person's head at will, improvements in technology are expected to reveal ever more precise information about people's brain activity. In 2011, scientists led by Jack Gallant of the University of California at Berkeley used brain scans to reconstruct clips of films people had watched beforehand. Today, there are no firm rules on what brain information can be gathered from people and in what form can be shared. The two researchers fear that the indiscriminate leakage of brain data across the infosphere with personal information people share on social media such as Facebook and Twitter. The third right of the new mental rights is the right to mental integrity, and it aims to defend against hackers who seek to interfere with brain implants, either can take control of the devices people are connected to or to feed signals into the victim's brains. The fourth right, covering psychological continuity, would protect people from actions that would harm their sense of identity, or it can disrupt their sense of being the same person throughout their life. Fuck, dude. This is straight up MK Ultra shit.
Well, not only that, I remember, God damn it, there was a conversation we had, and it was something that you had mentioned years ago, that, first of all, the new commodity is data. So they're going to run that shit like, oh, we need more data. You don't need more data. Second of all, the idea that somebody can fuck with your head and you change your behavior, MK Ultra, Manchurian Candidate, a la CIA, or the fact that somebody says that they can make you better by doing this. You know, who says that you're bad to begin with?
First of all, guys should know from chicks trying to make them better, that shit don't work. When a motherfucker tries to make you say they make you better,
man. Because if they could, they would do it to themselves. Look, wow, that's some fucked up shit.
It's insane, dude. This is mind control. Just call it what it is. It's mind control.
They're trying to make you into their zombie. They're trying to make meat robots. The shit that you said is so important is that they're trying to log for these rights early on. So people can, at least how would you know if somebody was fucking with you anyway? You wouldn't know. But the fact of the matter is they want to have that integrity sustained, protected early on before the shit gets out of hand. And like I said, I keep trying to tell people, there's so many ways to improve yourself. Look, off the air, Roscoe's on my ass about improving myself all the time. The idea of improving yourself is through discipline, through hard work, through things like that. If you could put a brain chip in there, would I want one? When I was 8 years old, hell yeah. I grew up on the $6 Million Man, Jamie Summers and shit. You know what I'm saying? I would love to be bionic. But they ain't going for bionic, nigga. They going for brain control and mental stimulation. Here's my thing. Look, I'm a Marvel fan. If you're going to give me an arm like Misty Knight where I can like lift a car, I'm cool with that. But if you're going to sit here and put a chip in my head and tell me I'm doing better, nah, man. That's about control and monitoring data, and that you're putting a bug in your own head, my nigga. Well, you're not actually making yourself better. Unless I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Shit, are we making ourselves better? Shit, didn't make ourselves better last time you put something in me.
I gotta say this again. It will protect people from actions that could harm their sense of identity or disrupts the concept of them being the same person throughout their entire life. Wow. So the use of deep brain stimulation, in which people have electrodes implanted deep into their brains to control Parkinson's symptoms or other conditions, have already raised concerns about the impact on patients' personal identity, with some stating that they no longer feel like themselves after the surgery.
My mom's a stroke victim. She can be mean as fuck. You know, the whole idea that traumatic matters to your brain can change things. You know, it's true. But here's my question. I'm going to throw this out here because you're a smart dude. With all the NFL research and all the money they throw towards CTE, you mean to tell me they never thought about maybe introducing some mushrooms in the diet? They never thought about some turkey tail, some, like I said, some MCT oil. They never thought about healing them guys. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be able to say that we did something. They're not about success. They're not about the real treatment. They're just like, okay.
They're basically Dick Cheney in 2004, and they're going to keep throwing
Halliburton
humans into the military war machine to grind them into hamburger and just keep feeding the machine. That's all. But
and then you find out he's on the board of directors of Halliburton, who has a contract to fix the shit that he broke. What the fuck?
And Halliburton has soldiers living in the worst quality ever with shitty
Oh,
water and horrible food, but they didn't give a fuck.
but that's what you're saying. They're convincing you that you need to be fixed the whole time. He told you you're building a side door into your house. You're building something in to give them permission to come into you and control you. Tell you what to spend your money on. Tell you to be satisfied with this fucked up government. Tell you to not worry about all these gay rights, but you ain't got no
Right,
rights.
but here's the other thing though: the electromagnetic frequencies that have now invaded your body because you have some shit in your head is going to shorten your organic lifespan.
Lifespan. Preach.
So the researchers admit that it may seem a little early to worry about brain hackers stealing your thoughts. I don't think so. But he said it was usually more effective to introduce protections for people sooner rather than later. He said we cannot afford to have a lag before security measures are implemented, and it's always too early to assess the technology until it's suddenly too late. Now, we're going to take this a step further. The realm of dreams and sleep time have always been a sacred sanctuary closed to the outside world. That is now changing. 3 researchers from Harvard, MIT, and the University of Montreal published research on the techniques of tampering with dreams. Their work indicated that 77% of advertisers plan to use dream tech in the next 3 years. In fact, there have already been numerous marketing studies to test potential ways to affect sleep behavior and hack dreams. Molson Coors, an American-Canadian beverage conglomerate, they make beer, is just one example of a company that is looking into this area. They conducted, in their own words, the world's largest dream study.
Like Coors Light?
Yes. In
Oh,
exchange for a free beer, users could
oh my God.
participate in a targeted dream incubation project aiming to pair Coors beer images with positive associations in people's minds. Coors
That's
collaborated.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's subliminal shit. It's getting worse.
Coors collaborated with a Harvard psychologist to design a so-called dream incubation stimulus. The experiment involved users watching a video of a dancing beer can and talking fish. There is a history of intimate links between the study of dreams and the U.S. advertising industry. Sigmund Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, is credited with pioneering the U.S. public relations and advertising industries, in part through influential books such as Propaganda, published in 1928, and it was Freud's theories which examined the nature of dreams and the unconscious through Bernays' book as inspiration for his approaches into influencing the public.
Bernays has something to do with Netflix. I forgot what the whole deal
His
with him.
his nephew started
Oh,
Netflix.
excuse me. I'm sorry. I knew there was a connection. Please forgive me.
So, with a focus on the creation of the unconscious desires and associations, Bernays utilized this in influencing the public. In a series of hugely successful advertising campaigns, Bernays demonstrated that the irrational forces that drive human behavior could be harnessed to engineer consent and manipulate people's behavior without their realizing it. It is psychoanalysis that gave advertising the idea to sell by association, linking cars and masculinity, or cigarettes and freedom, just as the Coors Dream Incubation Project linked beer with positive, refreshing experiences. Dude, this is a new field of study, but there is already a reason to think that such interventions, even if briefly administered during a single night of sleep, could impact people's waking behavior. As an example, a recent study of adult smokers showed that delivering targeted smells, a combination of rotten eggs or fish and cigarette smoke, during participants' sleep resulted in a 30% reduction in their smoking over the following week. Most of these participants reported having no memory whatsoever of the intervention, further underscoring the remarkable effect of this kind of associative learning Further underscoring the remarkable effect of this kind of associative learning administered during sleep is in fact that when researchers presented the same smells to a second group while they were fully awake, the smells had no impact on their subsequent smoking. Tech giants such as Amazon, Apple, and Google have all developed smart devices designed to monitor people's sleep. Amazon has the radar sensor, Apple's iPhone and watch, and Google's Fitbit Nest Hub. But see, if y'all remember a couple episodes ago, that we were talking about how Apple has a patent for their headphones that allows them to transmit brain waves through the AirPods.
Look, it exists. This is not conjecture. I think that's another reason that some of the stuff that Billy Carson was talking about, where they're talking about transferring consciousness into machines and animal consciousness, your consciousness, a machine controlling somebody from miles away, or controlling a soldier or a robot. That's all stuff we learned about when we were kids as sci-fi. That shit exists now. So the fact that you got somebody who wants to put in place measures to protect us, I'm the niggas in Zurich, I fuck with them. I dig that because it's only a matter of time before they're going to make it fashionable. They're going to have a Neuralink with Rolex on it. You feel me? They're going to make it fashionable. They're going to convince you it's going to make you better, or you're fixing an injury. Like I said, how come? Here's what bugs me. The technology already exists where they realize that a salamander or a frog are both amphibians. But if a salamander loses a leg, it grows back. If a frog loses a leg, it doesn't. But they did the experiment where they ran electricity through that frog and his leg grew back. They're saying that same thing would work with us. That if you lose a leg or a hand, that they can use electricity and they can use certain frequencies to make that shit grow back. Why are we not working on that? There should be nobody missing limbs and shit. Or where the hell is my bionic arm? And I don't mean that prosthesis bullshit where you got where's my shit that makes me able to, how come we're not going that way? If we're going some way, that should be the way we're going. But based on what we're talking about, that's probably how they're going to sell it to you. Like, oh, yeah, if you lose a finger, you can use one of these. And no, they're just trying to get inside your body. They're inside your house now. They're inside your electronics. They're inside everything except your physical body. They want to be there. So they can either control you or influence your decisions. That's the shit you got to run away from. That's not technology. That's damnation. There's a difference.
While these technologies and the data they collect are geared to improve people's sleep, it is not hard to see a world in which our phones and smart speakers become instruments of overnight advertising or data collection, with or without our knowledge. It already happens. This shit is already happening. Your phones, they send you advertising based off your conversations because people do not turn off the microphone in their phone, because they don't go into the settings in their phone and turn off the permissions. You have to turn off the permissions on every app that you use inside your phone. There's microphones connected to all those apps, cameras connected to all those apps. Turn that shit off. Why does Google Spreadsheet or any of these other apps need your microphone? Turn the microphone off on all this shit and stop being lazy that's another thing. Stop telling like Siri do this and Amazon do this, blah blah blah. Turn that shit off. Like, just take your lazy ass over there and fucking do it. Stop telling your electronic slave to do it for you. So it's crazy because people are so reliant on this bullshit, they just won't give it the fuck up.
People confuse entertainment with the lifestyle. They think this is some kind of futuristic lifestyle. No, this is entertainment. You're jerking yourself
off. People are confusing convenience with surveillance.
Oh, no. They gave you surveillance in the guise of convenience. They're like, oh, it'll look it up for you. Look. Unless I got a robot like Rosie on fucking the Jetsons that was doing, or unless I'm Richie Rich and and Mr. Keen Bean made me a robot, it's physically doing shit. Like I'm like, oh, shit, this nigga cutting the grass. Hey, thanks, man. Shit, that's that shit. But instead, they give you these little bits of technology that tell you that there's doing something. When did doing something become a stupid little word and not a physical action? Doing is a verb. So if that's the case, I should see that Siri, that home device, that Alexa, that should be getting up doing something. But instead, you're sitting there talking to it in the kitchen. Alexa, where's my car? It's in the garage, you dumb lazy bitch. That's that shit. You're convinced that you're doing something. Now, I get it. If you're doing a recipe and you want to have Alexa sitting there like, hey, how many eggs do I need? That's some cool shit right there. Like, okay, I dig it. But the idea that motherfucker is going to replace something in your house, what do they call it, Alexa? What do they call it? Not a server. They call it something else. Conciliate. That's bullshit, dude. It's not physically doing anything. You guys are social media has us so brainwashed to think doing nothing is doing something. That's my fucking pet peeve. It's not doing shit. Stop that. Stop convincing that laziness is something. That's stupidity. That's what it is.
No, that's a hustle. But people keep falling for this bullshit over and over and over.
Preach.
Even if we willingly give permission for the collection of our sleep data, it could be difficult to fully understand what will be done with it. Imagine this data being sold to corporations selling sleep aids, so that after a restless night, the ads appear during your internet searches and for Benadryl, Ambien, Tylenol PM, and even though you might not remember how poorly you slept. Since sleep loss is known to increase risk-taking behavior, one might expect to be hit with targeted ads for online gambling.
Nigga, you got pop-ups in your dream. So you're sitting here dreaming about being on a beach, and all of a sudden, Ben Gay pops up.
This is the beginning of Ready Player One. That's what this shit is. So, as there is evidence linking sleep loss to sugar intake as well, ads for candy might pop up. Going further and taking a clue from the research on changing candy preferences during naps, one could easily imagine a musician collaborating with a manufacturer of Skittles to get an offer on an hour-long nap soundtrack that incubates psychedelic candy dreams. Consumers could get half off on candy just for listening to a relaxing nap soundtrack, and there might be no legal requirement for clear, informed consent about how the incubation could drive purchasing behavior. Steps toward dream defense have already been taken. For starters, a group of more than 40 sleep and dream researchers from the scientific community recently co-signed a document rejecting dream advertising campaigns such as the one run by Molson Coors, while others have drafted a dream engineering ethic to foster discussions on the implications of this emerging field of research and the ethical considerations that should guide this work moving forward. One of the clear policy questions is whether the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, will release an enforcement policy statement that explicitly declares advertising that targets dreams without informed consent as deceitful, as they have done regarding subliminal advertising practices. The technology specific to dream incubation is called Dormio, as in dormant, and it pairs 3 sleep sensors with a digital device. Then it prompts users to think of a specific topic before going to sleep. After a certain sleeping period, Dormio awakens users with a sound and records an account of their dreams. While the researchers designed Dormio for scientific and research purposes, it quickly attracted broad commercial interest. Of course it did.
Yeah. Look, I remember when we were kids that if you thought about something hard enough before you went to sleep, you dreamed about it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in the country playing with some pigs, and the mom pig started chasing me. And so she couldn't catch me, but in my dream, she caught me, scared the shit out of me. So what they're telling you to do is they're trying to control what you think about. So they're telling you to think really hard about something. Then they're trying to control your dreams. Hold it, but we're talking about the easy shit. We're talking about advertisement and shit like that. Straight up mind control. Like let's just call it what it is. My brother told you earlier, this is mind control. This is they're not simply trying to make you buy a product. They're trying to control you. Buying the product and convenience, that's how they get in there. That's how it's for your health. That's all bullshit. Look, here's the next one they're going to get you with the dreaming. You know, say you got that restless leg syndrome shit, right? So suppose they controlled your dream and made you run 10 miles in your sleep. And then you wake up skinnier. That's what they're trying to do. You know, they're trying to convince you that we can give you the results that you can't get on your own. These people are diabolical, and you already see how they treat you now when it comes to social media. So why would you think this will be any different? Please prepare yourself for the coming commercials and the coming bombardment of trying to violate your brain through dreams or neural links or whatever. There are some things that should be sacred. The problem is that you got nerdy motherfuckers that ain't having sex, that ain't doing shit, that ain't experiencing life. And so they need these things. They feel like these things will make them better. They feel like these things will grant them some kind of magic. It's not magic. And you can do better on your own. Just build your confidence. Get your self-esteem. Exercise. Read. Do participate in life. Stop letting them dictate what life is, because they're about to put some shit in your head that you can't take out. And I already told you what's going to happen when they can't run an update on it. So you done did all this shit and you can't even access it because they're putting back doors into everything. Look, get your head out your ass, dude. This is ridiculous. This shouldn't even be a conversation.
The problem is that we're surrounded by these digital devices that assist in this mind control. Your phone is the biggest culprit. You may not have any of these Google Home, Nest, Alexa, Siri bullshit, but you got a phone. And you put that phone by your bed while you sleep. And there are problems with checking your phone first thing in the morning. One of the first impacts would be putting yourself in a stressful situation. Checking your phone immediately after waking up may not be as good to start your day, considering the fact that you are being bombarded with new messages, emails, a to-do list, and other things that trigger a feeling of stress and anxiety. This disrupts your chances of starting your day with a calm mind. Checking your phone as soon as you wake up not only distracts your mind, but also sets the tone for distraction for the rest of the day. Using your phone in the morning can affect your brain's ability to prioritize tasks. The information overload that hits you before you fully awake interferes with your ability to prioritize tasks. Before going to bed, put your phone on airplane mode. Your alarm will still work in this setting, but you won't be greeted with messages or notifications right when you wake up. Better still, turn off your phone or charge it in another room and use a classic alarm clock. So, one of the things that they've been talking about is a device, a sensor, that can beam things to you. There are people that sleep with AirPods in their ears. So that means you're getting brain waves beamed into your head via your phone into the AirPods into your brain. So now you've given them another route to get to you. So the way you got to think about these digital devices is they're doors. They're all doors. They're doors that they're two-way doors. They allow entertainment and information into you, and they allow these people to get to you. Every digital device that you have that is transmitting something, meaning it has a connection to the outside world, it's connected to the internet, it's connected to Bluetooth, it's connected to Wi-Fi. That is a door. That is a door into your body, your mind, and your spirit, because what we're talking about here specifically is new levels of MK Ultra mind control. I have talked about in many episodes on this show how MK Ultra is now, MK Ultra HD 24p, 4K. It is the highest level of MK Ultra because they have all these toys to play with, to play your mind with like a video game. They're talking about playing video games with the mind. Dude, I don't have time to play video games now. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I want to play video games with my mind? Don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy what video games provide. You know what I'm saying? But I just got too much shit I'm working on. I'm working on improving my life. And I won't reach the next station of my life if I'm bullshitting and wasting time playing video games, if I could be working on a creative project. If I could be working on something, a business venture that's going to be making money. Because when you look at successful people, they're not playing video games, man. They don't even watch a lot of TV. Those people are driven by something that makes them do the things they do. And anything that takes away from that is a distraction. And anything that is eating up time, that's eating up money. As they always say, time is money.
Time is money. It ain't the fact that time is money. What it is, it's the fact that you are accepting limitations. Look, I get it. We grew up watching the holodeck on motherfuckers like Star Trek. I would love to have something like that. I would love to be able to play video games in a setting like that. I would love to have some real virtual reality. But they ain't there yet. And the fact that even if Apple doesn't have the technology to go into your head completely, they're already patenting the information. And what the devices, they don't even have it yet. Say they don't have it yet. But they're already got their devices in your home, in your ear, in your head. So when they do get the technology, it's going to be one of these updates they run that you don't realize. You know what I'm saying? Oh, iOS 19 will give you the ability to fuck that shit. Look, the only way you get successful is by doing shit or designing the shit that people are buying. So if you're buying it, then you ain't successful. If you're making it, then you're going to be successful. It's all a hustle. And some things are sacred. Roscoe keeps telling you there's some places they should not be allowed to go. So why would you willingly allow yourself to be treated like this or give up access to anything or allow them access to something? Look, I get it. We love to watch these futuristic movies, but none of them end well. They always end with somebody fucking some shit up, creating a monster, doing a DNA experiment, a crazy robot, Skynet. You know, in China, their facial recognition software shit is called Skynet. That's the motherfucker that fucked up.
No creativity whatsoever. Like, you're just gonna go right on the nose with that shit and be super obvious.
Yeah. Look, so that's like going to jail and your cellmate. Hey, what's my cellmate's name? Oh, John Raper. What the fuck? Big John Raper? Nigga, I don't want to be in a cell with Big John Raper. Look, that's the whole thing, is that you got a place in China that's actually doing this shit. You got a nigga in Elon that's battling China, but he ain't battling China to keep them out. He's battling China to do it to you first.
Do it better.
Do it better. You know, it's like somebody had an example of that shit. If somebody hits me in the head and somebody runs over and stops it, you know, I'm going to assume that guy's a hero. But what if that guy was going to hit me in the head and the other guy beat you to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, cut that shit out. That's my job. So you got to look at people's motivations. You got to look at what's going on in the world. You got to look at who you are. And that's another thing. They're already telling you that some of these devices are designed to affect your identity. So what if you're a strong family man, a strong family woman, but then all of a sudden they start fucking with your identity and like, okay, I'll put something else in there. Like I said, traumatic brain injury does cause your personality to change. Like I said, I'm dealing with this shit in my own personal life. So what if these motherfuckers cause this shit on purpose just to change who you are? What if they give you Parkinson's? Um, off the air, we were talking about my doctor put me on cholesterol medicine. And I'm like, no, dude. I took it because he wore me down, but all the research I do tells me that I'm doing the wrong thing. There are certain diseases that are man-made, and one of them is Alzheimer's. So, quite frankly, here's my issue. Your brain is made of myelin. Myelin is made of cholesterol. So if I'm taking a cholesterol medicine now, what's going to happen when I turn 65 and 70 and all of a sudden I have Alzheimer's and they can't figure out a cure for it? That's because I was taking a cholesterol medicine to lower my cholesterol, but your cholesterol is what feeds your brain. That's that shit right there. They're creating customers, they're creating patients, and they're creating consumers of products that are very bad. So what I'm saying is that what if they're giving you a stroke on purpose, but then they offer a device. Hey, we can put an implant in there that controls your stroke. That you'll no longer. Man, fuck that shit. You gave it to me, bitch. Right now, shampoos have a chemical in there that causes your hair to fall out. But guess who owns the companies that make the cure? The same that shouldn't be allowed. They're creating a need, dude. Stop letting them create the need and stop falling for this shit.
So another example of how these devices all around you, they tell on you and can be used against you. It goes back to an old saying that the walls have ears. But that is now reality because you realize it might be the smart home speaker on the table that's listening to you. Recently, a
Or the
researcher
I'm sorry. Oh, the Tesla is following you. Go ahead.
Recently, a researcher named Matt Kuntz discovered that hackers could spy on you by accessing Google Home smart speaker. He was messing around with a Nest Mini when he discovered that a rogue account could be created using the Google Home app. This backdoor account can then be used to create a remote access to the smart speaker, including its microphone feed. The rogue account uses Cloud API, Application Programming Interface, to send commands to the smart speaker. The API allows multiple computer programs to communicate. The information needed to hack the intelligent speaker includes the device's name, certificate, and cloud ID. The hacker can send a request to Google server to link the smart speaker using this information. Then it can be used to make online transactions, control smart appliances, and even unlock the front door.
Oh my God.
Kuntz discovered it by making a malicious routine that included a call command. This allowed him to activate the microphone in the smart speaker at a specified time. He even recorded a video showing how the Nest Mini's microphone can send conversations to a smartphone. Upon discovering it, he received $1 million from Google. Oh, that's convenient. But how many other people had their information or homes broken into because of this back door that was built into this stupid fucking speaker that's sitting on the end table that nobody pays attention to? Dude,
What do you need a smart speaker for? It doesn't do anything.
I want to talk to it and tell it to play music for me. Can't you just get your ass up, walk over to the fucking phone or your laptop or your whatever, iPod, and fucking just play some music? Or a turntable and drop a needle onto a record and hear delicious analog goodness.
What do you need another device for?
But that's what I'm
You
telling
fucked
you
up.
here. These are all devices that people, they want to control their home. They want to have a smart home. No, you don't. You want a dumb home. You want a home that can't do shit but provide shelter from the elements and AC and cool air and warm air and a place to sleep and relax and eat your food and create. That's all you need a house for. All this extra bullshit is you're opening more doors. You thought you had a front door, a back door, and a side door. Dude, you got 12 different doors in your house now. But now you got nosy motherfuckers creeping in. You got criminals creeping in.
Access to things that ain't supposed to have access to. And like I said, we use the word privacy, but motherfuckers like, I don't need privacy. Yes, you fucking do. You shouldn't have to think about it. You shouldn't have to worry about it. And I shouldn't say that right, because a lot of people ain't worried about it. That's the problem. Um,
But you know what they said about this though? They said as long as no one is connected on your Wi-Fi other than you, accessing the Google speakers is not possible. Oh, so all I need is your Wi-Fi password, dude. These fucking
look,
dummies.
they don't even need a password. But the bottom line is that you're giving away something more precious than you realize. And this information that's all they care about. With that information is how they control you, where you're going, what you're doing,
But this
uh,
is the
spending
classic
habits.
hood kick door robbery, but without motherfuckers having to kick open the door. They are using your Wi-Fi password and a phone. They don't even have to use a fucking laptop. They use a phone and do this shit. These motherfuckers can break into your house with their phone. Do you hear how crazy this shit is, man? People can walk right into your front door and take everything or kill your ass.
How about somebody? We worry about alien abductions. I said, what about government abductions? They abduct you and put a Neuralink in your head without your permission. They forcing shit on you. But since they're doing it nicely or they're doing it so gradual, we don't realize that it's even what it is. So the best robbery is when you don't realize you've been robbed for about a month or two. Look, I think that people are missing this shit. Like, how do I say this correct? Here's the deal. I remember on the show, the show with Bill Maher, not Bill Maher. God damn it, the show. I can't think of the show that we were watching. You remember when the dude was sitting there stalking at you? See, the thing is, a person ain't got to be mad at you just to do this shit. See, you're saying angry. Some people are just doing this for entertainment. They're nerds. They're going through the internet. They're just looking at webcams, and they're breaking into people's webcams for the fuck of it. So, dude was a fucking a cyber nerd, and he was stalking this chick. He was looking at her through her webcam, and he notices that she has a mark on her back. It was skin cancer. So he's like, oh fuck. So he breaks into her computer and tells her like, hey, I need to tell you something. She's like, who are you? He's like, yeah, I know I've been stalking you, but you have a mark on your back. You got skin cancer, and you need to get that checked out. So she gets it checked out. She thanks him, but then he's like, hey, you want a date? She's like, no, you creep. You fucking creep. You're a fucking creep. You broke into my webcam, watched me undress, looked at my personal shit, and then you just happened to recognize that I had a condition. And yes, I appreciate your help, but you're a fucking creep. These motherfuckers are creeps. They don't have to be mad at you to violate you. They're violating you because they have no morals. They're bored.
They ain't never been
And
punched in the fucking face.
yes, I can't put. They know that what they're doing will not get them fucked up. Look, the bottom line is, back in the day, there was a thing. If you said something wrong, somebody hit you in the mouth. Now, if we fought afterwards, it's fine. But I have the right to say what I say. You have the right to hit me. These motherfuckers have a barrier between them of space, time, and technology that gives them this anonymity and gives them this false sense of courage. And that's that shit right there. And like I said, when these hackers get caught, back in the day, these companies would pay them to find out the back door and give them a security job. They're being rewarded for negative behavior. Man, fuck that shit, dude. If I find you, it's over. I'm beating the fuck out you.
Right? But then what's crazy is that your children can be under attack by pedophiles who hack into these cameras. So you can tell if someone is watching your Nest Cam simply by observing the LED lights on your device. If after hearing this, your stupid ass still has one of these things, pay attention to this. Google uses a system of colored lights to show if the camera is working or not. If your status light is solid green, it means your camera is turned on and actively recording images it sees. However, if the green status light is blinking, it indicates that someone, possibly a criminal, might be watching your live feed or using the Nest communication features to eavesdrop on conversations within your home. After a series of hacking incidents, Google upgraded the Nest privacy features in 2019 by barring users from manually turning off the green status light. In the past, Google users had the option to disable the green light, but since Google made the changes, Nest owners can only dim them. Another way you can tell if your Google Nest is hacked is if you hear weird sounds, noises, or strangers talking through its communication features. Many homeowners discovered that their devices were compromised when they heard hackers speaking directly to them or their children. Dude. So then, people worried about the nanny cam being hacked. So you got kids in your home, and you have these creeps that are looking at your kids, And you better only have cameras, just in, the common areas and not the bathrooms, because then you really got to kill a motherfucker.
Nope. When I find you, it's going to be worse than killing. I'm going to let you live, but I'm going to tear your ass up. You're going to wish you was dead. These motherfuckers, these people they're sick to begin with. They're fucked up. But again, the way that nanny cam got in your house was they're preying on your need to be improved, to fix some shit that wasn't broken. You know what I'm saying? When your kid falls and bumps his head, you look over there like, oh, okay. But they're using that shit for so many other things. They're using it for so many diabolical things. And you're giving them, I can't remember which Silence of the Lambs it was, but you remember when the dude was following the family, and he that's how he learned information on the family. He worked at the place where they developed the film or whatever, and he sat there and found out their habits.
1 hour photo. It was
yeah.
Robert Williams was the creepy old guy that was developing
the
photos.
That's a different one, but it was the same concept. A motherfucker got to know you through your pictures and through your cams, and then they learned your habits. They got their rocks off from watching you. That's some fucked up shit, but that's reality. And yeah, man, there's nothing I can say about what I would do to somebody.
But then this shit can be used against you in court. Anything you say in your house can be used against you in a court of law. Isn't that crazy? So Amazon's virtual assistant Alexa has been used in various court cases as evidence. The company has been ordered to produce recordings made by Echo smart speakers with Alexa voice command capability in criminal investigations and trials. These recordings can be used to gather evidence such as conversations, arguments, or even crimes, and can be used in court to help build a case. For instance, a double murder case in 2018, a judge ordered Amazon to produce recordings from an Echo smart speaker belonging to the suspect. Similarly, in a murder investigation in Florida in 2019, police sought recordings from an Amazon Echo to investigate an argument that ended in the death of a woman. Woo! Boy. So, as you can see, you got snitches all over the place. You got cameras all over the place, microphones all over the place. People worry about, beating a motherfucker's ass in public. You can't touch a motherfucker in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude.
It's so many. It's rules. They're violating everything, and then they give these little people the ability to violate it. Look, don't think that more technology makes it better. We need less technology. It's the same thing with government. More government. No, we need less government. That's what it is. And we're convincing ourselves that we need something that we don't. It's pitiful. It's sad. It's sick. If a motherfucker's watching you, some creepy shit, it's sick. And when you said Google Assistant, that's the word I'm looking for, assistant. How do they assist you? Like I said, it's not physically doing anything, but you call it an assistant. Nigga, please.
But there's all these devices, like a Fitbit. People do not even think about how this is recording your information. So could your Fitbit be used against you in court? Well, it says here you were wearing this Fitbit at this time this person was killed, and you were in the proximity because your Tesla recorded your your GPS data. That's another thing. These fucking cars. These electric cars are surveillance vehicles. Everybody wants to tell you they're great, but nobody will tell you that it records everything. It stores everything, where you are, what you're doing, what you're saying. Yo, that's why I like old cars. I enjoy getting in a car that doesn't have any electronic devices in it whatsoever, because it's 100% analog, and there's nothing going on other than the car operating like it normally does, and you enjoying the drive. That's it. There's nothing being transmitted. There's none of that stuff. Nobody can hack the shit. Nobody can, like, unless they can put a bomb on it, that's the only thing they can do, or like cut the brake line or some shit. But aside from that, it's free. You're free. You know, the point I'm getting at here is that this episode has been about how your dreams can be hacked, how your mind can be altered through brain implants or brain implant controls, computer interfaces that can alter your sense of who you are. I gotta go back to that for a second because that shit was wild. It said your identity could come into question if you are using these devices that enhance your cognitive performance. So your sense of not just well-being, but who you are. That is insanity, dude. The mental integrity, the cognitive continuity. Wow. We were talking about, the continuity of government, motherfucker, continuity of your identity. Dude, there's so much shit that can be used against you. The moment you go and you buy some newfangled device that has a Wi-Fi connection on it, that has Bluetooth connection on it, those are all devices that can allow people to get into your life and possibly control you. Because on a recent episode, we said that they can look into your house by using the electrical current flowing through the walls to create a field that shows your body's heat signature inside of it.
That's some Batman fucking
Dark Knight, right? Dark Knight shit. That's exactly what that is. That's the fucking the sonar thing that he was like, this ain't cool.
Just using your own pipes. Like they can surveil who's in your house right now, just flying over. Not even whether they use infrared, whether they use some kind of sonar, they can do that shit already. So why are you making it easier for them?
But it's crazy.
When I say them, I mean government. When I say them, I mean technology. When I say them, I mean Samsung, Tesla, who the fuck ever, Apple. That's that shit.
Dude, psychological continuity. Dude, it protecting your sense of identity. Yeah.
Yeah, that should never be an issue.
But it said it disrupts the sense of being the same person throughout your entire life. What the fuck, dude? That's almost CIA level splitting of consciousness to create an assassin that is unaware of what it's doing half the day.
Manchurian candidate, my nigga. For real.
So, how do you protect yourself from these things? First is put your phone on airplane mode when you go to sleep. You'll still get all your messages and everything, but you won't see that bullshit upon waking up until you turn off airplane mode. Take 10 minutes to awaken properly, go brush your teeth, take a shower, do what you got to do, and then turn the phone on. And then you can start looking at all the messages, because when you're coming out of sleep, you're coming from a state of complete rest. Rapid eye movement, where the brain allows the mind to rest. Dream states. These motherfuckers are coming for your dreams. You hear me? They're coming for your dreams. This is not a science fiction movie. This shit is real.
Yeah, this is science fact, my nigga. Get you a Faraday cage and stick your phone in that motherfucker. Do what you got to do for that added protection.
And get yourself some Faraday fabric and put it around things you want to protect. Or If you can't find, like, if the little pouches are too small to stick a laptop in, put that shit around like a Google Nest. Put that shit around your Wi-Fi. Turn your Wi-Fi off when you're going to sleep. Turn off everything when you're going to sleep. If you wake up in the middle of the night, it should be so quiet and so peaceful. And I'm talking about on an electromagnetic level. Look, we are providing you with the information so that you can use this to protect yourself and dodge all these electronic bullets. These motherfuckers are coming for your dreams. This is Inception. This is the movie Inception, okay? But it's real now. Protect yourself at all times. That's all I got. We out. Peace.
Yo, holla back.